office who have not testified before, we have a light system there. You will each have 5 minutes to give your remarks. It's right in the middle of that table there. The green light means you're good. The yellow light means you have 1 minute remaining. And the red light means you're done. Start to summarize and wrap up. And then we're going to get into the questions. So we're going to begin by introducing Mr. John M. Mills. Mr. Mills is President and Treasurer of Plum Contracting Incorporated, located in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Plum Contracting is a full-service highway, bridge, and utility contractor. Mr. Mills is here to testify on behalf of Associated General Contractors of America. Founded in 1918, AGC represents more than 32,000 firms in the contracting industry. Welcome, Mr. Mills.
Good morning, Chairman Altmeyer. Good morning, Chairman Altmeyer. Ranking Member. How's that? Good morning, Chairman Altmeyer, Ranking Member Fallon, and Congressman Schuster. Thank you for the opportunity to testify on a topic of great importance to the highway and bridge construction industry, the upcoming highway bill. My name is Jack Mills. I am the owner and president of Plum Contracting, located near Delmont in Westmoreland County, Pennsylvania. I am a resident of Plum Borough in Allegheny County. Plum Contracting was incorporated in 1980. We had 9 employees, and we did work as a subcontractor installing edge drains and erosion control features on roads and highways throughout Pennsylvania. In 1999, Plum diversified into road and bridge building. Today, we are a prime contractor for projects up to $10 million and annual revenues around $30 million. Plum is a member of the Constructors Association of Western Pennsylvania and the Associated General Contractors of America, on whose behalf I'm pleased to represent today. AGC is, AGC is the largest and oldest national construction trade association in the United States, representing more than 33,000 firms engaged in construction of the nation's public works infrastructure and commercial facilities. Plum Contracting is a small business in the highway and bridge construction industry. We have built projects that have had a positive impact on economic opportunities in Western Pennsylvania. We recently completed an $8.5 million project in New Stanton, PA, and are currently working on a $7.5 million project in Westmoreland County. We have an office staff of 9 professionals and 40 full-time field employees. Plum Contracting is a union contractor, and our current weekly payroll is around 100 employees. Plum has been affected by the downturn in the highway and bridge funding. Our revenues and weekly payrolls have decreased by around 35% since 2007. Nationwide, construction unemployment is still at 17.4% compared to the total unemployment rate of 9.7%. The Recovery Act is already going a long way towards creating and saving these jobs, and in fact, Plum Contracting is a subcontractor on a Recovery Act job in Pennsylvania. Last summer, to address revenues, Plum Contracting expanded its bridge division and was successful in being the low bidder on 6 bridge projects in Pennsylvania. Although we currently have a backlog, we expect our profit margins to be down this year due to increased competition for the work in this industry. That is why we have a vested interest in the upcoming highway bill, which we hope will substantially increase federal funding for highway and bridge work, as well as the immediate crisis facing the balance of the Highway Trust Fund. First, let me address the Highway Trust Fund. The U.S. Department of Transportation and others have found that the balance of fund will fall below the minimum cash level necessary to make daily payments by the end of August. When this happens, the U.S. DOT will be required to drastically slow down state reimbursements for highway and bridge work. Action is needed immediately to fix this problem. The American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials estimate that the additional $8 billion transfer of general funds into the Highway Trust Fund would be necessary to accomplish this. The fund also needs an additional $10 billion in fiscal year 2010, or the program could face a 35% cut in funding. In the contracting business, contractors typically do the work and incur the costs, and then submit payment requests to the state. However, in a payment slowdown or stoppage situation, the repayment is delayed, meaning the contractor is the one who suffers the cash flow crunch. This is exceptionally problematic for small business contractors who rely more on timely repayments to stay afloat. Congress must take steps immediately to bring short and long-term certainty to the program. The construction industry makes decisions about investments in new equipment and in retaining and training a workforce based on its best projection about where the market will be over the long term. This is particularly true for small businesses, which typically have less operating capital to invest. To bring long-term certainty to the program, Congress must also continue work towards enacting a multi-year surface transportation authorization bill to replace Safety Lou, which expires on September 30th. We ask Congress to reject proposals by the administration to delay action on the critical legislation until March 2011. Our transportation challenges will not solve themselves and will only get worse over the next 18 months. Congress must enact a bill that establishes a national vision for a transportation system that meets 21st century needs. Congress must provide the resources to improve existing assets, to expand system capacity, both transit and highway, to reduce congestion and prevent highway fatalities. To fund these national priorities, we urge Congress to increase the federal motor fuels tax to recoup lost purchasing power and index it to inflation, while moving towards a non-fuel-based financing mechanism for the future. We recognize that a fuels tax increase is a tough political decision, but this user fee, which has not been increased since 1993, is the most reliable and efficient method to finance surface transportation improvements in the short term. We also recommend that Congress take steps to improve work zone safety for construction workers and motorists by calling for greater use of positive barriers in highway work zones despite the increased costs. Smaller contractors have a hard time bidding for projects that require these measures because of their cost and the difficulty of including their costs and their overhead. Mr. Chairman, the United States has been underinvesting in our transportation systems for far too long. The underinvesting is costing U.S. businesses, small and large, and the traveling public time and money. Congress must address the immediate short-term shortfall facing the Highway Trust Fund before it breaks for the August recess, and it must continue efforts to enact a multi-year bill that increases investment and provides construction companies with the continuity that allows them to thrive and contribute to the nation's economic well-being.